15. Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi Hatake was feared across the ninja world as the copy ninja. 1,000 jutsu, a cold stare, and one hidden Sharingan. But among all his flashy techniques, there's one skill that quietly follows him. The sword White Fang. Kakashi isn't a true swordsman, but every time he draws his short blade, something shifts. His style becomes faster, sharper. He moves in close, using the blade for swift jabs and surprise counters. It's not elegant or ceremonial, it's tactical, an extension of his mind, not just his hand. He mainly uses a tanto, perfect for close-quarter duels or last-minute defense. His swordplay doesn't rely on complex stances or named techniques. Instead, it serves one purpose: support. Whether he's finishing an enemy or covering a retreat, the blade is there to fill in the gaps between his jutsu. In truth, Kakashi's sword skills are basic. He's not a swordmaster. His strength lies in versatility. One moment, he's slashing with his blade. The next, he's casting a lightning-style jutsu that turns the battlefield upside down. Every cut he makes, every strike he blocks, it's for his teammates. He's the type who'll lose an eye to protect a friend. And while his sword doesn't define him, it reflects him. Sharp, quiet, effective. If you're a true Naruto or Boruto fan, this one's for you. We're getting closer to the most lethal swordsman in the entire Naruto series. And trust me, the number one on the list is not who you think. Smash like, subscribe, and share this with your Waibu pack, because what's coming next is on a whole other level. Can you guess who's ranked number 1? Next. 14. Suigetsu Hozuki. Now, here's a guy who lives for swords. Suigetsu Hozuki just wanted to collect every blade the Hidden Mist had to offer. A childhood dream, soaked in blood and ambition. Suigetsu's weapon of choice? The legendary Kubikiri Bocho, once wielded by Zabuza. A giant, brutal cleaver that feeds off blood to regenerate itself. Swinging it around like a toy, Suigetsu brings an unpredictable energy to every fight. His sword style is wild and aggressive. He slashes with brute force, but never loses control. Thanks to his Hozuki bloodline, Suigetsu can liquefy his body to dodge attacks or recover from lethal blows. This makes his approach unique. He can charge headfirst into danger, knowing his body can absorb the damage. His technique lacks polish. He doesn't use any named moves, no flashy styles. He's still raw, learning, growing. In battle, he relies more on strength and his liquid transformation than on refined swordplay. As part of Team Taka, Suigetsu plays a supporting role. He adds muscle and chaos, but never steals the spotlight. His contributions are more about potential than legacy. 13. Jinpachi Munashi. Meet Jinpachi Munashi, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist, and a man whose idea of swordplay involves detonations. Jinpachi wields Shibuki, the blast sword. It's a walking explosion. The blade is laced with explosive tags that detonate on contact, turning each swing into a death sentence for anyone nearby. His combat style is pure chaos. Instead of one clean strike, he unleashes waves of destruction. Each clash triggers a blast that sends shrapnel flying. It's messy, brutal, and hard to counter. He doesn't need elegance, he needs destruction. Among the swordsmen, Jinpachi stood out for his brutality. There's no grace in his technique, only efficiency. He mastered Shibuki's unpredictable nature and turned it into a reliable tool of terror. Few could match his control over the weapon's deadly timing, and yet everything we know about him comes from flashbacks. He lived during the bloodiest period in Mist Village history, when killing was part of training. His personality? Cold, violent. He fit perfectly into that world. He thrived in it. Sadly, his presence was brief, and his legacy is scattered across lore and filler. But make no mistake, he helped build the legend of the 7 swordsmen. 12. Jinin Akabino. When it comes to brute force, few can match the raw power of Jinin Akabino, a former member of the fearsome 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist. He didn't swing a sword for elegance or honor. He swung it to destroy. His weapon, Kabutawari, isn't a traditional blade. It's a bizarre combination of a hammer and an axe, chained together to deliver devastating blows. It wasn't made for finesse. It was made to break armor. Jinin's entire style revolves around smashing defenses and cutting down what's left. In battle, he would first use the hammer to create a crack in the enemy's guard, then follow up with a vicious axe strike through the weak point. It's a two-step combo designed to obliterate, not impress. His technique isn't fast or flashy, but it's terrifyingly effective when it lands. Genin had great mastery over Kabutawari, knowing exactly how to use its weight and rhythm to dominate close combat. However, his overall swordsmanship outside of that niche was limited. His personality reflects his fighting style, aggressive, ruthless, and always ready to kill. There's little depth shown in his character, but what we do know is clear. He lived for destruction. Jinin's presence in the series is brief, only appearing in flashbacks. Still, his role helped strengthen the dark legend of the Seven Swordsmen. He never had a legacy of his own, but he added to the fear that followed the group's name. 11. Ameyuri Ringo. Don't let the looks fool you. Ameyuri Ringo is as deadly as they come. One of the few female members of the Seven Swordsmen, she wielded the Kiba blades, twin swords that conduct lightning chakra with deadly precision. Ameyuri's combat style is fast, fluid, and merciless. She dances across the battlefield, weaving lightning into every movement. Her strikes are just quick and burn. With Kiba in her hands, she turned every fight into a storm. Kiba amplifies lightning techniques, allowing her to channel chakra into long-range lightning strikes. One of her most feared attacks is Thundergate, a move that rains electric death from afar. She didn't need to close in. Her blades reached farther than most could defend. Her control over lightning chakra was impressive. She could adjust power levels, redirect strikes mid-combat, and chain attacks with terrifying efficiency. Ameyuri was orchestrating destruction. She carried herself with pride. Though ruthless, there was a charm to her, the kind that made enemies hesitate just before the lightning struck. She enjoyed the thrill of battle and embraced her identity as a mist swordsman. Her strength, speed, and style made her one of the most memorable members of the Seven Swordsmen. She might not have a deep backstory, but she didn't need one. Her lightning did the talking. 10. Tenten. She's not a member of the Seven Swordsmen. She doesn't have a legendary blade. But Tenten, the silent specialist from the Leaf Village, earns her place on this list through skill, precision, and sheer variety. Tenten's weapon of choice? Everything. From swords and kunai to giant scrolls and sealing tools, she turns the battlefield into a storm of steel. Among her arsenal, she often pulls out multiple types of swords, summoning them from her scrolls to launch rapid attacks. Her swordsmanship isn't rooted in tradition. She doesn't follow forms or use named techniques. Instead, she combines swordplay with sealing jutsu, allowing her to summon, throw, and control blades mid-combat. It's creative, unpredictable, and highly technical. While she doesn't focus only on swords, her accuracy and coordination let her use them effectively in the heat of battle. She doesn't overpower her enemies, she outmaneuvers them. Her attacks come from all angles, making her hard to counter. Tenten is one of the most hardworking ninjas of her generation. She doesn't have a flashy bloodline or tailed beast inside her, but she trains constantly, pushes her limits, and never gives up. She may be overshadowed by her teammates, but her efforts never fade. Tenten often in the background, but she represents something important: discipline. She shows that even without legendary power, a ninja can stand tall through effort and skill. 9. Kushimaru Kuriarare. Few swordsmen are as disturbing as Kushimaru Kuriarare. As one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist, he was an artist of agony. His weapon of choice? The terrifying Nuibari, a needle-like sword that turns battlefields into blood-stained canvases. Kushimaru's combat style is all about precision and sadism. He doesn't rely on brute strength or flashy techniques. Instead, he uses Nuibari to pierce through multiple enemies in a single throw, stitching them together like lifeless dolls. His technique immobilizes, humiliates, and ultimately ends. The Nuibari is deceptively simple, a long, slender blade attached to a wire. But in Kushimaru's hands, it becomes a tool of torture. His signature move, Curtain of Death, involves threading enemies into each other, or the environment, trapping them like flies in a spider's web. Kushimaru shows an eerie level of mastery over Nubari. His movements are fluid, and he controls the wire with such ease. It's almost like a part of his own body. His speed and accuracy make it nearly impossible to escape once the first needle lands. He's a monster. Ruthless, brutal, and obsessed with inflicting pain, Kushimaru embodies the dark legend of the Seven Swordsmen. There's no redemption arc, only cruelty. He helped solidify the terrifying reputation of the Mist's elite bladesmen. But unfortunately, like many in the group, his backstory is thin. We don't get to explore what made him this way. He's more of a symbol than a character. 8. Zabuza Momochi. The first true villain of Naruto, the blade-wielding ghost who haunted the fog. Zabuza Momochi didn't introduce us to the Seven Swordsmen. He defined what a shinobi monster could be. Wielding the massive Kubikiri Bocho, Zabuza brought a brutal fighting style to the table. He didn't rely on elegance. He relied on fear. He used overwhelming strength, deceptive mist tactics, and psychological warfare to dominate the battlefield. Zabuza's signature technique, silent killing, is as terrifying as it sounds. He'd drown the field in thick mist, then eliminate targets without a sound. No chakra flash, no dramatic swing, just death, delivered coldly. His weapon, the Kubikiri Bocho, is infamous for regenerating using the iron from the blood of its victims. That's right, Zabuza literally fed his blade with the corpses of his enemies, making him both a killer and a blacksmith of doom in one. Zabuza showed high tactical ability, using terrain, fear, and teamwork with Haku to gain the upper hand. He was adaptable, smart, and lethal even when blinded by mist or emotion. Zabuza starts cold, even cruel, but his relationship with Haku adds a tragic layer. By the end, we see a man broken by the system he once served, showing that even demons cry. He was the first boss-level threat, the first to show us how real and emotional this world could get. His death was not only a plot point, it was a statement. 7. Fuguki Suikazan. Before Kasam turned Samehada into a legend, there was Fuguki Suikazan, a mountain of muscle, chakra, and menace. As an earlier wielder of the living blade, Fuguki brought raw power to the Seven Swordsmen. Fuguki's fighting style is brutally simple. He uses his sheer size and strength to swing Samehada like a wrecking ball, crushing enemies and draining their chakra in the process. He doesn't dodge, he absorbs. He doesn't finesse, he is overwhelmed. Samehada is no ordinary sword. It's alive, reacts to chakra, and can fuse with its user. Fuguki used this bond to overpower most opponents, relying heavily on Samehada's ability to eat chakra and keep him going. His fighting wasn't technical, but it was relentless. Where Fuguki falls short is refinement. Compared to Kisame, who used Samehada with surgical precision and complex strategy, Fuguki was more of a brute force tank. He lacked the creativity and synergy that Kisame later developed. Fuguki was greedy, untrustworthy, and ultimately doomed by his own student. Kisame killed him in cold blood after uncovering his corruption, proving that even within the Seven Swordsmen, betrayal runs deep. Fuguki didn't have a huge impact on the Naruto storyline, but his existence helped shape the mythos of Samehada and added depth to Kisame's rise. 6. Mifune. In a world ruled by chakra and jutsu, Mifune stood tall as a master of pure swordsmanship. As the leader of the samurai from the Land of Iron, he wasn't an outsider. He was a reminder that discipline and honor can rival even the strongest ninja. Mifune's combat style is based on Ieido, the lightning-fast technique of drawing and slashing in a single, seamless motion. He eliminates his targets before they can even weave a hand sign. His signature move, Flash, is so fast and precise that it completely shuts down ninjutsu, forcing even top-tier shinobi into close combat. Armed with a traditional katana, Mifune doesn't rely on chakra tricks or flashy transformations. His strength lies in timing, precision, and mastery. He's the ultimate counter to those who underestimate physical combat. He reached peak performance during his battle with Hanzo of the Salamander, a legendary ninja with poison, summons, and a fearsome reputation. Mifune defeated him without using a single jutsu, purely through conviction and sword technique, a feat that speaks volumes about his level of mastery. Mifune is the embodiment of honor. Calm, righteous, and unwavering, he upholds the samurai code even when surrounded by deception. As a key voice during the Fourth Great Ninja War, he played a vital role in unifying the Allied forces and proving that even non-ninja can shape the world's future. 5. Chojuro. From nervous apprentice to Mizukage, Chojuro's journey is one of growth and raw talent. As one of the 7 swordsmen and the wielder of the Hiramekare, he represents the next generation of hidden mist swordmasters. Chojuro's fighting style is fluid and adaptive. He uses Hiramekare to change the flow of battle, shifting between offense and defense with incredible chakra control. His technique, Hiramekare Unleashing, forms massive chakra constructs, like hammers, swords, and other weapons, giving him devastating power with every swing. The Hiramekare is unlike any other blade. It stores chakra and molds it into any shape the user desires, essentially turning Chojuro into a walking weapon factory. Few swords offer such versatility and impact. His level of control over chakra through the sword is exceptional. He measures, plans, and executes with precision. That's why, during the war and beyond, Chojuro consistently proves himself on the battlefield. Chojuro grows into a trusted leader. His dedication to protecting the Mist Village and reshaping its bloody legacy marks him as one of the few truly good-hearted leaders in the Naruto world. As Mizukage, Chojuro becomes a symbol of change and progress, leading his village into an era of peace and cooperation. His influence spans both the battlefield and the political stage. 4. Kisame Hoshigaki. If chakra were a weapon, Kisame Hoshigaki would be a walking nuke. Dubbed the tailless tailed beast, Kisame is one of the most terrifying swordsmen in Naruto, and for good reason. His style is brutally efficient. Kisame uses Samihada, a living sword that feeds on chakra, to strip enemies of their abilities before smashing them into the dirt. He thrives in prolonged combat, turning his opponent's strength into his own fuel. Samihada is beyond a sword. It's a partner. It heals Kisame, fuses with him, and actively participates in combat. His most fearsome ability, Samihada Fusion, transforms Kisame into a shark-like monster, massively boosting his power and allowing him to fight underwater with total dominance. Kisame's mastery over Samihada is unmatched. Unlike Fuguki, who wielded it with brute force, Kisame understood the sword's instincts. He knew how to sync with it, how to let it guide his attacks, defend, and consume chakra in the most effective way possible. Beneath his monstrous power lies a complex man. Kisame is ruthless and cruel, but also strangely noble. He believes in a harsh kind of peace and stays loyal to his cause until the bitter end, even choosing death to protect secrets over betrayal. His battles with Killer Bee and Might Guy are legendary. He pushed both opponents to the edge, and his presence in the Akatsuki made him a constant threat on par with any tailed beast host. 3. Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke Uchiha, the last scion of the Uchiha clan, isn't only a Sharingan prodigy. He's also a deadly master of the sword. His kenjutsu is fast, lethal, and perfectly complemented by his visual prowess and lightning chakra. Sasuke's swordsmanship is all about speed and precision. With the Sharingan, he can anticipate movements, counter with split-second reactions, and punish even the smallest openings. His strikes are quick, clean, and rarely wasted. He wields the Kusanagi blade, channeling lightning chakra through it to increase its cutting power and stun enemies with every slash. His technique, Chidori Senbon, while typically a ranged move, originates from his incredible chakra control and sword channeling finesse. In terms of mastery, Sasuke ranks near the top. He held his own in high-speed sword duels against Killer Bee, a master of multi-blade combat, and even fought on par with the likes of Itachi and Madara in full-scale wars. Personality-wise, Sasuke is layered and complex. His path from revenge to redemption adds depth to every battle. Each slash of his sword carries the weight of his past and the hope for his future. From rogue ninja to hero, he shaped world events, ended centuries of conflict, and stood alongside Naruto as a savior of the shinobi world. 2. Mangetsu Hozuki. Mangetsu Hozuki was a once-in-a-generation genius, a shinobi so talented he mastered all 7 legendary swords of the mist. That's mythical. Unlike others who specialized in one blade, Mangetsu could switch between the Kubikiri Bocho, Samihada, Haramekare, and more, effortlessly adapting his style mid-battle. His fluid combat style made him unpredictable and near impossible to counter. What made Mangetsu terrifying wasn't flashy jutsu, it was his effortless versatility. No standout technique was needed. His ability to flow between multiple sword styles made him a human arsenal. That alone sets him apart from every other swordsman. He was the only known person to ever master all 7 blades, a feat so rare it elevated him to near-legend status among the Mist's elite. Mangetsu was quiet, serious, and driven. His raw talent inspired his younger brother, Suigetsu, who sought to follow in his footsteps. Though little is known about Mangetsu's personality, his legacy speaks volumes. His reputation alone sent ripples through shinobi history. He's a symbol of perfection in swordsmanship and the ideal every Mist swordsman strives to match. 1. Killer Bee. Killer Bee is the Jinchuriki of the 8 Tails. He's the wildest, flashiest, most unorthodox swordsman in the Naruto universe. His swordsmanship doesn't follow rules. It breaks them and rewrites them in freestyle rap. Bee's style, known as acrobatic kenjutsu, involves wielding 8 swords simultaneously, often holding them between his elbows, knees, and even his mouth. Every movement is a fluid dance of flips, spins, and unexpected angles, turning every strike into a potential knockout. He uses no traditional technique. Instead, he relies on pure muscle memory, instinct, and flexibility. His unpredictable moves make him impossible to read, especially when enhanced by his monstrous chakra. His most iconic technique, Disturbance Taijutsu, fuses taijutsu and swordplay into a whirling storm of blades while flipping through the air. It's impossible to block unless you're prepared for chaos. Bee's mastery of his 8-blade style is unparalleled. Even Sasuke, fresh off his training with Orochimaru, was completely overwhelmed in their first encounter. Add in Bee's perfect control over the 8 Tails, and you've got a fighter with both raw and refined power. Bee is joyful, eccentric, and fiercely loyal. He's a rapper, a brother, and a mentor, especially to Naruto. He helped turn the tide of war, mentored the protagonist, and brought rhythm to a world ruled by tradition and war. He takes the #1 spot without question. His swordplay is so original, so dangerous, and so Killer Bee that few would ever dare to dispute it. His style is legendary. Thanks for watching till the end. See ya!